Good afternoon, it's Squelch, 409-370, Squelch. We're showing about 229 indicated. Yeah, that's good. I know that. Then I have visual 16. Road path 326, down the path 326.
Engine 18, Control 7. Fire alarm. 4412, Pittsview Avenue, at CHS Property Maintenance. Engine 18, Control 7. Fire alarm. 4412, Pittsview Avenue, at CHS Property Maintenance. Cross streets are Shenandoah Street and Commonwealth Avenue. On tap channel 2. Time out, 1900.
And let's figure out which one of us dropped the ball.
Scott.
Maybe I won't have to. Can I not hear how?
Direct KO4 UOR Scott. Any other mobile or portable stations wishing to check into the Metro Richmond area, then please call me.
That's weird.
This is Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Alpha Kilo, John.
Whiskey 4, Mike, Foxtrot, Victor.
Trying to copy KR4CAK, John. One last call for mobile or portable stations. Any mobile or portable stations wishing to check into the area, then the 511 repeater call now.
Somebody's on the wrong service.
Hey, Mark, here on the...
Romeo 4, Charlie Alpha Kilo, same. Over.
That's funny.
54, Mike, Fox. Victor, Mark.
I guess Hanover's a little harder for me to hear portable than I thought.
This is Kilo Oscar for Kilo Alpha Delta. Name is Randy. Thank you, sir.
Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Bravo Alpha.
Roger that. I'm listening to the news. I heard you call over here with your ham call, so I knew probably what was going on. I'll let you go so you can check into the
November
Get
3, Mike,
73.
Juliet, Charlie. Name is Mike. Good evening, Net Control. This is Kilo 4, Echo, X-ray, X-ray, K4E XX, Don.
What? Say that again?
Oscar 4, Charlie Papa Echo, John.
You're asking the wrong person. As far as I know, you're on the hotel guys. Sorry for that.
Good. 3, November 2, Juliet, Delta, Hotel, Andre.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. We've got a crew at G691 at the lobby. I'll need to ride to Darby down to swap out.
Alright, Net Control is direct. Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Papa Kilo, James. Whiskey 4, Mike, Foxtrot Victor, Mark. Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta, Randy. Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Bravo Alpha, Mark, in and out. Nora 3, Mary, John, Charles, Mike. Kilo 4, Echo X-ray, X-ray, Dawn. Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Papa, Echo, John. November 2, Juliet, Delta Hotel, Andre. Any other stations wishing to check into the Metro Richmond area, net mobile, portable, or otherwise, please call them. Alright, with nothing heard, we will now proceed on with comments. Once again, this is November 1 Echo, November Charlie, Net Control. When you're called on for comments, please advise your location and provide a received signal report. Your comments for the net. Again, tonight's topic is if you were asked to assist with communications for an agency or event, you are not familiar with what questions would you ask them ahead of time, what tools and or checklists would you use to be ready for the event. We'll start off at the top of the list with Scott, KO4 UO.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, what a list. What a list. This is Scott, KO4UOR, Western Henrico. I'm doing dishes, so I'm on my HT. But, yeah, it's great to hear a number of KR4 stations checking in. We're in the era of the KR4s, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, in regards to the question, I wouldn't start by asking questions just because I know that most events and most, activities like that have good written instructions for how they want things to be handled. So I'd probably read through that first before asking any questions. I'm more of a I need to spend some time with the written instructions to really absorb it. So that's probably how I would start. But always have an extra battery, maybe an extra radio. Yeah, good topic. KO4UOR 73, everyone. Back to net control.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Yeah, that's a good point. Many agencies and events already have a way of going about things, so that's a very good point. All right, Scott, thank you for your comments. We'll move on next to Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Alpha Kilo John. Go ahead, John.
Sorry about the glare. It's facing west.
I'll be on kind of new to me. It's my first check-in on the net, but I think if I were to be asked, I would really be looking for some of the best protocols that have been created already, so I would know where best to fit in.
All right, yeah, understood. Welcome to the Aries net, and yeah, it's okay to not have a game plan yet, especially when you're first getting into the hobby. It's great to absorb as much information as you can. So that's great, and yeah, knowing who to ask is 50% of the game. Is knowing who has the information or who has the tools that are necessary to accomplish the mission. So. Very good. Thank you, John. We'll move down the list to KR4CPK, James. Go ahead.
Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Papa, Kilo, James. I would concur with the first respondents that each organization's standard operating procedures and documentation would be the first look and first review, followed by ICS and other relevant government emergency management service providers. This comes from the perspective of a retired senior emergency manager with a federal agency and 40 years of experience in emergency management with an emphasis on emergency communications. Do what's in the book, over.
Exactly, yeah, there's a lot of the time, especially for communications, there's already a plan written, there's already standards, especially when NIMS and ICS comes into play, so that is a very good point. That's a great perspective. Thank you for the comments. We'll move on down the list to W4MSV, Mark. Go with your comments, Mark.
Good evening, TJ, and everyone on the net. Old Glen Allen area. Near the train tracks. There's no trouble, no one shortly. You're coming in loud and clear. A bit of static, but I'm on HT on the back porch. Probably where that's coming from. On my list to do, so the ICS training, the 100, 200, 300 type thing, learning a little bit about that. And along with the Wednesday WinLink check-in that Sean has, a lot of the communications they have are built, they're already built out. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, that you can use to fill in the blanks for the questions and that type of stuff. So, and along with what Scott said, extra radio, extra batteries, a way to charge things so that you can stay in communication with everybody. That's about what I've got. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Net Control. This is before Mike Scott Simpson.
Yeah, I think it's
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I think the form you're talking about, if I'm understanding correctly, is the ICS 205 form. A good form is a good resource to have, even if you're just thinking of different incidents that, certain communications plans and things of that nature to put together. That's a good form to be familiar with. So thank you for sharing. We will go ahead and move on to KO4KAD, Randy. Go with your comments, Randy.
L1ANC, KO4KAD, good evening, TJ, and everybody on the net. Yeah, real good topic. Appreciate you running the net tonight. And, I would have to, pretty much concur with the other stations. The first thing I would do would be to read through their plan, their operating procedures. And then I guess I would ask, what bands or modes we would be operating to make sure that I had the appropriate gear to do that. Yeah, that's about all I've got, TJ. I'll turn it back to net control in 7-3.
All right, yeah, thanks, Randy. And all good points everybody's making. Making sure your equipment's compatible with whatever plan they have set up, if they have one, and just having redundancies in place in case your battery dies or your radio stops working, so on and so forth. So thank you for that. Next on the list is KR4 CBA Mark. He was in and out. We'll move on next to N3 MJC Mike.
Good evening, Net Control. This is November 3, Mike, Juliet, Charlie, Mike, Borough, Mechanicsville, County of Hanover, Commonwealth of Virginia, DFQ into the repeater. Nice and speedy job and efficient, TJ. I would also concur with the previous stations, but as a lawyer by trade, I would also say if the stuff isn't written down, the answer would be, it all depends on what the event is, who is running it, and otherwise, after listening to them, I would dare say then you can ask your questions as to what questions you'd like answered. Otherwise, like you said just now, TJ, redundancies. If I may please, let me drop it. If I may please ask your indulgence for 1 minute, I would like to give a thought to the guys up in the 146835 repeater up in Manahawkin, New Jersey. They're going through a pretty bad time up there because there's a wildfire, which they've never experienced. Manahawkin, for those of you who do not know, is the mainland point of entry to Long Beach Island, and they're all in Ocean County. And those fires, they've never experienced anything like that before. They've had Hurricane Sandy, which nearly destroyed Long Beach Island, but they've never experienced anything like this before. And, so, even Southern Regional High School in Manahawkin is being used for shelter, so that's not a good sign at all. So they had to close Garden State Parkway, and I know all this because I used to live in Camden County and vacation on Long Beach Island from 1967 through 1998. So I know very well about that area. So let's keep them in our thoughts and hope that they're okay. Beautiful job, efficient again, TJ. Thanks for your time. DXYL wants me downstairs, so I must depart. 7-3. N1 ENC, this is N3 MJC. Back to net control.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation. I've got family up in Morris County in Roxbury, and I know that's a little bit northwest of there, but still in New Jersey. So it's unfortunate to hear that, but I hope they're able to get that under control and get everything back to normal. So, all right, next on the list is K4EXX Dawn. Go ahead, Dawn.
Good evening, TJ, and everybody on the net tonight. Hope everybody's doing okay. We've been kind of running around here trying to get my wife ready for her big operation next month. She's going to have a knee replacement, her second. So she'll be partly bionic after she has her knee replaced. And I'm already bionic. I've had almost everything replaced, both knees and the hip. I just need to get an attitude adjustment so I can be a little nicer, and I'll be in good shape. Hope everybody has a good rest of the week, and I'll say 73s to everyone, and send it back to Ned. This is K4EXX Don in Chester.
That's the way to stay on the topic.
All right, Don, thanks for that. Hope everything goes well with the operation. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to KO4CPE John. Go, John.
KO4CB, John. I'm located in Glen Allen. A little bit of static on the signal, but I think part of that's probably locally based as I turn off various lights around the radio and the signal noise level goes down. So I probably have too many other functions of remote control going on. Certainly have to mirror everyone's comments about look for existing documentation. Even if it's not a perfect fit, it's a good place to start potentially. But generally, good comments and nothing else to add. Back to net control.
All right, thanks, Sean. Yeah, I actually, in my truck, I had to drive up the street. I've got some kind of local interference in my house that is drowning out. Basically, this is the only repeater that doesn't work on it right now. So, got to do some further investigation on it. I believe it's external, but I feel your pain on that one. All right, thanks for your comments. We will go ahead and move down to into JDH.
One ENC, this is N2 JDH. Name is Andre, Lakeside. Your signal, as well as everybody else, is beautiful into the repeater. Glad this repeater is working, and we all are able to get onto the net. Now, for me, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I have 120 certifications when it comes down to EMS to just about anything that has to do with emergency response. But being a part of racing areas, EMS, disaster communications and response, CERT, CART, Skywarn, being an emergency medical dispatcher, fire, and all the other stuff like that, and looking at ENC, there are SOPs and enough interoperability files that are actually can give you an idea as to what to do in certain situations. A lot of people don't really know about it, but the OEM, the Office of Emergency Management, would actually have that. Net control usually would have some idea if they're working with counties, so that would be a great thing to actually have them there. But pretty much when it comes down to training, like you said, the ICS form 205, let me drop it real quick. There's also the emergency and the incident action plans that actually give you some insight onto it. And then traffic handling training that could be done on the net. Pretty much using the ICS form, doing data as well as UHF, DHF. Those are some things that but all of this stuff is the same thing that we're doing now on the radio. Just taking it a step further. You only learn by practice. You do tabletop all day long and, be good at it. And then when it comes down to the situation, how many people are actually paying attention to it. So I encourage everyone, if there's a tabletop or if there's a interoperability plan that they're working on, whether it's in your county or another county, it would be a great idea to be able to participate in it. It will teach you some of the forms, the FEMA forms. There's a lot out there. I'll just say that if you're willing to look into it, take your time, dive into it, get as much knowledge as you can. I've been doing this for 25 years, and there's still a lot of stuff I don't know. But thank you, TJ, for having this net, and thank you, everyone, for joining in. And I hope we get a lot more training to be able to provide better assistance to the different counties. This is N1. This is the N2 JDH, and I'm turning it back over to N1 N2.
Do you know who you are?
All right, thanks, Andre. Yeah, exactly. There's a ton of information out there, and just learn as much as you can. We're at the bottom of the list, so I'll go ahead and read you off some nets that occur in the region, and then we'll go for our final call for check-in. Other areas are emergency communications nets that are held during the week in the region. Mondays at 1900, the Powhatan Aries net is held on the 147315 repeater. Has a positive offset and a PL of 74.4. Also on Mondays, the Goochland County Emergency Communications net is held on the 147270 repeater. Has a positive offset and a PL of 2035. On Tuesday nights, the Dinwiddie County Aries net meets at 1900 on the 147390 repeater. Also has a positive offset and a PL of 74.4. Also on Tuesdays, the Chesterfield Aries net meets at 2100 on the 147360 repeater. Has a positive offset and no PL. And finally on Wednesdays at 2000, the Tri-Cities Emergency Communications net is held on the 147390 repeater. Has a positive offset and a PL of 74.4. With that, this is the final call for check-ins for the Metro Richmond Aries Net. This is M1ENC Net Control. Any remaining stations wishing to check into the net, please identify now.
Roger 211, make your right turn to the north off of 15, 1.8.
Alright, with nothing heard, along with the nets, I neglected to mention that the Hanover County Emergency Coordinator, Sean, Whiskey 4 Bravo Kilo Romeo, hosts the WinLink Wednesday net for Hanover County. For further information, you can reach out to him, looking him up on QRZ and sending him an email to his email address. Additionally, Hanover County Fire EMS, along with Hanover County Aries, are planning on hosting some technician classes. So if there's anybody out there that's listening that's not licensed, who is interested in getting licensed or learning about amateur radio, or if any of you know anybody that's interested in getting licensed, the Fire and EMS department, alongside the Aries for the county, is going to be hosting some technician classes coming up here, I believe, over the summer. So if anybody's interested in further information about that, you can reach out to Sean, W4PKR, for further information on that as well. Tonight we had 11 check-ins, including myself, and like Scott said, numerous KR core stations in the New Hampshire. Definitely showing up, which is great. At this time, I'll go ahead and terminate the net. I'd like to thank the stations that participated and the stations that stood by for the net. I'd also like to thank the Hanover Fire EMS Department's Emergency Management Section and Nathan NEDLS for their support of this repeater. Metro Richmond Aries Net is now closed, and this repeater is returned to regular amateur radio operation. This is N1ENC, and that is clear, 1926.
There you go. There's your invitation.
Got it.